Not every disagreement in a relationship means it's time to walk away. Everyone makes mistakes and loses their temper from time to time. However, some words are repeated so often that they stop being momentary outbursts and instead reveal a pattern of disrespect, emotional manipulation, or a lack of desire to build a healthy relationship. If these phrases become a regular part of the way she speaks to you, it may be wise to reconsider whether the relationship should continue. 1. You're worthless. This phrase may be said during an argument or a moment of anger, but it can leave a deep psychological impact. There is a huge difference between your partner criticizing something you did and attacking your worth as a person. When you repeatedly hear words that belittle you or make you feel as though you don't deserve respect, the problem is no longer the disagreement itself, it's the way you're being treated within the relationship. In a healthy relationship, both partners can disagree and even criticize each other's behavior when necessary, but without attacking each other's dignity or self-worth. Genuine respect doesn't disappear, even during the most difficult moments of conflict. 2. Stay if you want. Leave if you want. At first glance, this phrase may sound like confidence or independence, but in many cases it reflects something very different. It can be a way of expressing indifference or an attempt to make the other person work harder to prove their love. Someone who truly wants you doesn't make you feel as though your presence doesn't matter or that your absence would make no difference in their life. Even during moments of frustration or anger, they don't use the idea of leaving as a weapon against the relationship. Healthy relationships make both partners feel that their presence is valued and that protecting the relationship is a shared responsibility, not a constant test of love. 3. You'll never find another woman like me. This statement may sound like confidence, but it can easily become a form of psychological control when it's used to make you fear leaving the relationship. It plants the idea that if you lose this person, you'll never find someone else who will love or appreciate you. Real love doesn't need to frighten you into staying. It doesn't rely on convincing you that your future happiness depends entirely on one person. A healthy relationship is built on two people choosing each other freely every day, not because fear keeps them together, but because they genuinely feel respected, appreciated, and emotionally safe. 4. Everything is your fault. No healthy relationship consists of one person who is always wrong and another who is always right. When you're blamed for every disagreement, every misunderstanding, and every problem, you may eventually begin questioning yourself and even apologizing for things that were never your responsibility. Taking responsibility for your mistakes is a sign of maturity, not weakness. But if one partner refuses to acknowledge their own faults and constantly blames the other, resolving conflicts becomes nearly impossible. Healthy relationships require two people who are willing to reflect on themselves, not one person carrying all the blame. 5. I'll make you regret it. When words become threats or revenge becomes a way of handling disagreements, the relationship begins to lose one of its most important foundations, emotional safety. Love should never make you afraid of what will happen if you disagree or make a decision your partner doesn't like. Healthy relationships are not built on fear, punishment, or the desire to break the other person emotionally. Everyone gets angry from time to time, but repeated threats or using fear as a tool for control is not the behavior of someone building a stable, loving relationship. 6. I don't care how you feel. It's perfectly normal for two people to have different opinions or see situations differently. However, there's a major difference between disagreeing and completely dismissing your partner's emotions. When someone feels that their sadness, anxiety, or emotional pain doesn't matter to the person they love, they often begin to withdraw emotionally because they no longer feel understood or valued. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with everything your partner says. It means making an honest effort to understand what they're experiencing, even if you see things differently. 7. If you really love me, you'll do what I want. This is one of the most common forms of emotional blackmail. It connects love with obedience, making any refusal seem like proof that you don't truly care. But genuine love never asks you to sacrifice your boundaries, values, or identity just to prove your devotion. Instead, it respects your right to say no when something goes against your principles, comfort, or well-being. Healthy relationships don't require constant tests of love because trust is built through honesty, consistency, and sincere actions, not emotional pressure. Final thoughts. It's important to remember that anyone can say something hurtful during a moment of anger or emotional stress. That's why you shouldn't judge an entire relationship based on a single sentence. However, when these phrases become a consistent pattern of communication or a normal part of daily interactions, it's time to pause and ask yourself an important question. Do I truly feel respected and emotionally safe in this relationship? Or am I constantly living in fear of the next insult, threat, or hurtful comment? Any relationship that makes you question your worth, lose your self-respect, or feel as though you're unworthy of love is not a healthy relationship, no matter how strong the emotions may be. Always choose the relationship that gives you peace, respect, emotional security, and the freedom to be yourself without fear, guilt, or humiliation. True love never destroys your dignity, it protects it. It never makes you feel less valuable. It makes you feel appreciated, respected, and genuinely cherished.